Kumba at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. One of the most influential roller coasters, not just in Florida, but maybe of all time. This B&M looping coaster changed the inversion game forever. Kumba was really one of those rides that impacted the industry more than people gave it credit for. A 90s B&M looper that introduced the first ever dive loop. An inversion so common that you will see it in almost every looping coaster, past and present. August 2nd, 2026. The last day to ride Kumba. This wouldn't be the only roller coaster in America to close that day either. At Fun Spot Atlanta, Air Force One would also be permanently closed to the public. But let's reset the clock to look at the full picture of Kumba. When Kumba was first being built, it was the tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster in all of Florida. The ride was so dominant for its time. You had a 143-foot lift hill that leads to a 135-foot drop to travel impressive speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. And the ride boasts an incredible track length of nearly 4,000 feet. And during the journey, the train is whipped around 7 inversions. Everything about the ride was huge. Even the vertical loop broke records. A 114-foot vertical loop that wraps around the record-breaking lift hill. But for most people, the best part of the ride wasn't the unique loop that surrounds the lift hill, or the first ever dive loop. It was the inversion that followed. A zero-G roll so intense, it could only be properly nicknamed as the Hell Roll. Also, the famous interlocking corkscrews were the first of their kind, offering an amazing photo opportunity for guests who walk by. Even though Kumba was tucked away, hidden in the back of the park, it was still iconic and a beautiful ride to watch. Its presence was always known with the iconic roar that could be heard from the front of the park. Kumba's name literally translates to roar in the Congo language. A more fitting ride name could not have been chosen. And ever since the closure was announced, a new name has been speculated for a roller coaster to replace Kumba. This roller coaster is rumored to be called Kumba's Revenge. And for the ride itself, not too many details have been confirmed yet. But a lot of coaster enthusiasts like to speculate what the new attraction could be. There are so many options of great fits. But there's one that comes across the mind of every enthusiast, and that ride is a Giga coaster. This may be a likely option, and if it is what the park goes for, we're in for one of the best roller coaster collections ever seen. While I will miss the roar of Kumba as it whips through its 7 inversions, I think hearing the roar of a 300-foot B&M coaster can be the only fitting replacement for the ride. In my opinion, this ride is much needed for the coaster collection and skyline. Let me explain why. You have Montu, another B&M looper with 7 inversions that focuses on intensity and whip. And then you have another headliner in Iron Gwazi, which is an ejector airtime machine and features more intense inversions. But then, the next best ride is a family thrill coaster with Cheetah Hunt. For me, their top coasters have a gap, even with Kumba. They are missing a large-scale airtime-focused ride, especially with floater airtime. With a ride focused less on inversions and solely on large airtime hills, this would contrast Montu and Iron Gwazi very well. And I think if they find a good plot of land for the ride, this is the likely replacement. It should be a record-breaking ride that is groundbreaking for its time, similar to Kumba. And Busch Gardens has removed several roller coasters just over the past few years. While the last few removals have been tragic, I think there's finally something to look forward to in the future of the park. Kumba will always be missed, and it will be remembered for its decades of thrills that it provided. not hearing the famous roar on the way to the back of the park will feel eerie. And some of the most intense ride experiences with little to no waits won't be able to be experienced again. But I'm glad I've been able to call Busch Gardens home and experience Kumba several times. Let's finally take one last ride on Kumba.